Hi everyone. GR44 is here. In this video I will tell you about working with transitions from the particles category. They look something like this. I'll tell you all the details. The first thing I want to note is that transitions automatically detect the luminance area and build a transition from them, so the result will be different in different pictures. The direction of particle movement will be the same as in the preview, but the construction will be different. Second point. Particles are rendered slowly. Therefore, if you need to complete and render the project as quickly as possible, it is better not to use this category. The next point is related to the fact that particles work unstably in DaVinci Resolve. Therefore, the category of transitions with particles is currently undergoing beta testing and has a number of bugs that are affected by the DaVinci Resolve program itself. Due to the fact that in DaVinci Resolve it is impossible to correctly animate particles in order to put back a disassembled image, you have to work with time inversion and figure out how to get around various nuances. In this video I will show you everything in detail. The first problem you may encounter when working with a category occurs when dragging a transition across the timeline from left to right. At this moment, the image under the transition may stop updating. This is a bug in DaVinci Resolve and I hope the developers will fix it in the future. It looks like this. If you want to replace the image under the transition, then the particles remember the old image and are not updated. There are a couple of ways to fix this. The first way is to mount everything and restart DaVinci Resolve before the final render. Then all the pictures will be updated. Second way. Place the cursor over the transition and go into Fusion. Let's go to the Fusion settings. Submenu tweaks and turn this option on or off. Let's just invert it. We save the settings and then the particle rendering starts again. The picture is being updated. If you want to change the picture again, then do this procedure again, inverting the option. Then the render will restart again and the image will be updated. Next point. When you put a transition, there may be a black screen at its end. This is also an unpredictable bug of DaVinci Resolve. In this case, remove this transition from the timeline and add it again. To see the name of the transition, zoom in on the timeline. And you can find the transition in the media pool. Or ungroup the transition and look at the name in the object inspector. The next problem can arise when changing the transition duration. It may also stop updating or cause rendering to crash or the program to freeze. Therefore, try to save your project often, especially before editing transitions from the particle category. If the render freezes, try saving the project using the Ctrl+S hotkeys. Then the next time you open the project, everything will be fine. You can also try using the method with the inversion of the option in the Fusion settings to restart the rendering. But I do not recommend changing the transition speed to avoid bugs. You can also change the speed of the sound to match the new transition speed. Next, don't forget to group the sound with the transition again. If rendering takes a long time, you can try restarting DaVinci Resolve. This will clear the video card memory and everything can start working faster. Also, after changing the speed, you need to find the new transition center and adjust the cut. Move the cursor with the arrows on your keyboard left and right to intuitively find the center of the transition. It will be in a place where there is a sharp change in particles. Move the marker on the transition between the entrance and exit of the transition. Now everything will be fine. If a problem occurs with rendering, repeat the procedure of restarting rendering through the Fusion settings. Keep in mind that the longer you make the transition, the longer it will take to rendering in the end. In general, to avoid bugs, place transitions directly to their destination and do not change the speed. If the problem occurs, you can try disabling the track with your video under the transitions before putting the transitions in place. And then activate the track again. The following bug can occur when using transitions with particles on videos and not on pictures. Because transitions use timing effects to animate particles, there may be some stuttering at the end of the transition, especially if the video is panoramic. This is also due to bugs in the work of DaVinci Resolve. To avoid this, the FPS of the video file must match the FPS of your working sequence. For example, if you work with a frame rate of 29.97, then the video file should be 29.97 frames per second. If the video differs in frame rate, the following method may help. Trim your video at the junction with the transition at the end and add the section below the transition into a new compound clip as I show in the video. This will help stabilize the frame rate difference. Changing the video plan or removing and replacing the transition can also help. Now I will show this using an example of a 60 frames per second project. Here the video is 29.97 frames and the sequence in which I edit is 60 frames per second. So I'm getting a problem with the jerk at the end of the transition. To solve this, also trim your video at the right edge of the transition and add the clip to the new compound. Unfortunately, this method cannot always help resolve the problem. So try swapping plans under the transition. Also, before using transitions with particles, please read the information in the green README folder. I apologize that using transitions from the particle category can cause such difficulties. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to influence this yet, so I'm providing you with the category as is. Use it at your own risk. If it's more trouble than it's worth, just don't use it. You can easily remove it from the project so that it does not interfere. But I hope for your understanding in working with this category as the particles look pretty cool. In fact, it's easy to disassemble a picture into particles, but putting it back together from scattered particles is problematic. Thank you for watching. All the best, friends. It was a GR44.